All right, so One Piece chapter 983. I always fucking forget these numbers, so I have to always like look back. But yeah, One
Yeah.
Piece chapter 983. Here with my boy Fiji.
Was good. Thanks for
What's
having me,
up?
bro.
Yeah, anytime. Do you even want to talk about the cover page? Cause
I mean, like it never said end on it, which is unfortunate. I need this shit to hurry up and end. You know, when the cover page finishes, do we usually move on to the next like cover story, or do we get randoms for a while, right? We get like fan submissions, like fan requests.
honestly, I'm the wrong person to ask because I barely pay attention to these shits.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. The reason why is because if we get something meaningful after this, it would be cool just to see what's going on around the world. Like if we get a Whole Cake Island one for something, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes cover stories can give us some interesting shit, but this one has been, yeah, there's not much to talk about. It's just been
I mean,
unfortunate.
this one technically classifies as interesting shit because it's progressing a narrative, but it just
Yeah,
makes you disappointed because, like, one, it makes you think, like, all right, there's no way Capone's going to be relevant, at least for the time being, because he's actually had so much focus in the cover pages. And then something like Pound's narrative, like, it's basically been reduced to nothing because Oda's willing to just show it in the cover page. That's all there
yeah,
really is to it.
yep, which is
But yeah, let's
unfortunate.
move on past that garbage. So, we go to Perospero, and I fucking hate this scene for a lot of reasons. I know some
Yeah,
people try to make up excuses like, okay, he wants to like get back at King, while the other people they might be for Big Mom's plan, but I
yeah.
don't think that makes
I
any
mean,
sense because, first of all, like at the end of the day, it's up to Big Mom what she chooses. He can't really like he can try to convince her, and like if the people like if Smoothie and everyone else is like near him, like what is he afraid they're gonna like give counter arguments and they're actually gonna like out debate him or something? Like at the end of the day, he's gonna give a suggestion and Big Mom's gonna make a choice, and she's not really gonna like debate with him because she's Big Mom and she's petty and she doesn't care. So
exactly.
I don't think like bringing them like really does anything. All it really does is just give him backup so you can actually make it to Big Mom and like just be more secure in general.
Yeah.
So I've seen no reason for him not to bring the others.
Yeah, I see no reason for him not to bring the others or even do this the first fucking time they got kicked off the war.
Yeah, I mean
Like what?
this goes back to like why the fuck were they waiting so long? Like did Big Mom like just now send a messenger and tell them about what's up? Like it's just so messy. Oh
Yeah,
man.
definitely. Another thing with this whole thing is, so people try to say Perospero didn't bring anyone because he's probably the only one that's against it, like you just said, against like the alliance to begin with, and the rest were okay with it. And I guess you can create that narrative yourself, but that hasn't been stated. Perospero hasn't made that clear enough. I don't think. Like Smoothie, we know she never questions anything Big Mom does, and we know Perospero is he's kind of trying to act like a solo Avenger and just go get his own revenge
Which
to
makes
some
no sense
degree.
because he's been a fucking clown for the Marco and the King situations. Like he completely
Exactly.
jobbed, and now does he think he's some big man? Like what?
Yeah. Yeah, basically. It's just wild, man. It's just wild.
And
I don't get why.
I wonder if the like he could have just gone here himself like easily, and it's just like a complete contradiction of the past events, or if he thinks Marco left, so he's actually like he's waiting, he's letting them like get the ship like intact and everything, and they're gonna be slower than them, but they're on their way, and he's just going faster because he believes Marco's actually going to Onigashima, so the coast is clear.
Ah, I
But
actually never thought of that. That's actually a good that hopefully that happens,
but
even
to
though I
me
still
that
doubt it.
doesn't make sense because for you to think that's the case, it's like, why would Marco even show up to begin with? You would think he would go to Onigashima from the start, you know? So, like, just the fact that
Yeah.
Marco's there, to me, gives the impression, if you were like Perospero, that Marco's there because he thinks they got it in Onigashima and he's just here to stop y'all at any cost, just like King was.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can understand that too. But at the same time, it can be justified somehow, but will it be? That's the thing. If that happens, if Oda chooses to do that and have the Beast Pirates follow from behind on the ship, the Big Mom Pirates follow from behind on the ship. So that's I don't know. This entire scene is questionable because it's not in line with what we know, what's happened
It's
in
very
previous
questionable.
chapters, and it's just yeah, it's weird as fuck. It's like it's just trying to set up something. I guess it's just trying to make somebody in a Big Mom Pirates relevant. That's it.
See, the thing is that Oda, he's had a lot of like surprise appearances. Like Perospero could have just came out of nowhere, and that would be like his appearance. But Oda decided to show him here, and I guess the only reason and the reason the scene even exists is because he just wants to like further like hammer in the point that alliances are gonna fail and like betrayals are gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, he's been going ham with that theme for this entire arc. He's been trying to like that's like the biggest theme of the arc so far, like betrayals and deception and shit. And he's just been going crazy with it. And it's like, I don't mind. I actually like it when an arc is thematically rich, but not at the cost of the narrative. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Not at the cost of like characters making fucking sense. That's one thing people in the One Piece community seem to not understand. They keep talking about themes and shit, but the narrative of the arc isn't always as coherent as it could be.
That's being very generous. Very generous. But yeah, let's
Hey,
move
I'm
on.
generous. I'm generous as fuck, man. I got a major bias for One Piece, and even
Yeah.
then, like I call out a lot of things just
I
because,
mean,
like,
I
it's
feel like
been-
I'm starting to get generous as well because I would normally like rate these chapters really badly because of like terrible conveniences. But I'm so used to it at this point. It's like, okay, the Sanji convenience or like the Sanji like plotline this chapter. It's like one of the worst things I've ever fucking read. But I'm just so
Yeah.
used to it that can I call this chapter like a 2 out of 10 because Sanji's been garbage? Like I'm used to Sanji being garbage, so I don't
Yeah.
really care about it.
I feel it. Now with me, it's more like I feel like I'm still I'm still clinging on to faith. But anyways, we'll see. I think that's enough about the Perospero shit. The next scene is so on my first read, I actually kind of misinterpreted this, right? Like, tell me your thoughts. Obviously, sorry, you go ahead. Tell me what you thought.
I mean, I just think it's weird that, like, okay, maybe not weird is the right thing. It's just the convenience that she, at this, like, exact moment, she's like, oh, I gotta go there because of Zeus. And that's whatever. The weirdest part for me is that Frankie's, like, tank thing, like, it tanked an attack from Big Mom. Like, she was already embarrassing because she couldn't catch up to it. And now, like,
Yeah.
her attack has been made to look like it's dog shit, too.
That's one thing though. Is kind of like I actually just saw this on Twitter, and this guy might be right. Yeah. And basically, Usopp says she took just one shot at the tank and it activated some kind of transformation. So what if she turned the tank into a homie? Because if you look at the page, he says that he says she took one attack at the tank and it activated some kind of transformation, and then she's looking a bit too calm for somebody who was pissed off a couple chapters ago. Even though Big Mom's weird as fuck anyway, that's why like her personality be shifting like crazy. So I don't know if this is a reasonable enough argument to say that the Brachiopoda is now a homie, but just the activated some kind of transformation. I feel like that's saying, yeah, it became a homie. She turned into a homie.
I didn't think about that. The way I took it was she hit it with enough force to, like, trigger some, like, transformation that Frankie already built into it.
Oh, okay. That's plausible too.
But
That's plausible too.
it's maybe plausible, but it's like, okay, if you hit the tank like hard enough, like why would that be the trigger of the transformation, you know?
Yeah, we'll
So
see. Regardless, like if she actually did hit and and it's not a homie, then we need to start putting some respect on Frankie's durability, dog. Like,
I don't know, bro, because Big Mom is like you already know, so incredibly inconsistent with her showings.
Of course.
It's just hard to
But
say.
just being able to say, saying he can tank Yonko his.
Hey man, Frankie
Just-
over Sanji? Sanji
Hey,
not
man.
even top 4? Like Jinbei came to
We
knock him
out
out of
here,
the top
bro.
3, and then Frankie came to
Hey.
knock him out of the top 4.
We
is
out
what
here,
it
man.
is.
We love that agenda, bro. We're gonna add Brooke there soon, bro.
Hey, that's
Yamato
what's
for
up.
Straw Hat. I will talk about that later.
Alright, so yeah, Big Mom has like weird ass fucking personality shift. And then
Yeah.
Prometheus, for some reason he doesn't want to attack the Straw Hats, but he's like, come over here, Big Mom. And of course the fucking Sanji scene. I don't even know if we want to get into it because it's so terrible. Like at this exact moment, like this is when the stakes should be the highest for the Straw Hats ever. They're taking on a Yonko, and this is when he just said, fuck everything. I'm just going after the prostitutes. Like, it's crazy how much like care he puts into Zeph, and then in like some certain moments where like he wanted to sacrifice himself instead of Zoro, and he just like he's willing to sacrifice himself for the crew like on so many occasions. But then other times like this, like he cares so little for their well-being that even in like the grandest fucking stage they've been in yet, he's just going after prostitutes. Like, I'll just leave them there. They'll fend for themselves.
I've seen the. I don't know if I'll call it damage control, but I've seen some like people saying because he looked serious in the scene that Nami is mistaken and that it wasn't for perverted purposes and that he's being genuine about wanting to help the prostitutes. who are most likely against their will, considering we're in Onigashima. So I guess that makes sense. But at the end of the day, we know what his motives are, bro. We
Yeah, we
know what his
literally got it
motives
from the
are.
last chapter.
Like, yeah, we know what his motives are. I don't give a fuck if he looked serious, bro. We know what he's thinking. No amount of elaborate plan, Mr. Prince shit. As much as I think Sanji can be cool when he gets his solo plotline and stuff, and as much as I'm happy for the Sanji fans that he's actually alone right now, the way he got separated from the rest of the crew was fucking abysmal. That's like one of the. Mm, as somebody who's already like, I've made it clear I really don't fuck with, I don't like Sanji, and I just hate the way his gag is used. This was like too much. Like,
This
I know
goes
you said
into
you expect it, but this was like,
yeah.
dog.
This
This
goes
is
into
like,
something I
holy.
feel like I talk about with Draco every time a chapter comes out. It's like Oda separates the strides so much. It's like, can he even write with the strides being together? It's like he's literally incapable of writing unless the strides are separated by some convenience.
Yeah, that's post time skip. That's literally from the start of post time skip has been a lot like
Yeah.
that.
And back to the him trying to save the prostitutes, like one, is it really more important than keeping the well being of fucking Nami and the Straw Hats? Or she's not really with the Straw Hats right now, but just keeping the well being of Nami and the
Yeah,
people around her who are his
Carrot.
actual
Yeah,
comrades. And then two, even though he's been portrayed as like Mr. Jesus 2.0, the super nice guy that like Rage was talking about, he did kind of say fuck the punk hazard kids, and I'm pretty sure there was like little girls mixed into that group. So I just don't see why he would be like, I have to save these prostitutes even if like Nami's in danger, but he's just like fuck them kids.
Exactly, yeah. It's bro. I actually feel bad for Sanji fans because Oda makes it like literally impossible to defend this guy, bro.
Literally impossible. It's just wild.
Hey, hey, let's move on, man. I don't want to talk about this fucker, bro.
Yeah. And then we go to Momo, and Orochi's giving some fucking filler ass speech. I don't really care about that, but something that you
Yeah.
brought up when the spoilers are out that really interested me, of course, was Zoro pulling up with the King's Hockey, my guy. I want to see
Hey.
that shit.
Hey, this is the thing, right? I feel like there's narrative weight that like could actually make this scene hit a lot because we know Zoro is he's a lot more passionate for the Wano countrymen than he has been for any arc we've been in before. Like, I don't think he cared about the people in Alabasta or Dressrosa or any other arc as much as he cares about the people in Wano because he's had his own solo plot lines, got to know the people of Wano, got to know the damsel of distress of this arc. I mean, alongside Momonosuke, because both Hiyori and Momonosuke, they're both like the damsel of distresses, right?
And
So
Tama.
yeah, I guess you could add Tama into it. Yeah, she's not as major, but yeah, I guess you could. So like all three of them, Zoro and Luffy have first-hand witnessed them, like more than anybody else in the crew. And something that actually hurt Zoro on an emotional level was Yasui's execution. Like obviously it didn't make him cry or anything, but it did hit him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee he blames, knowing how proud of a man Zoro is, I guarantee he blames himself to some degree.
He's like, I could
His
have used
lack of
King's
strength.
Hockey, but I just said I wasn't gonna. Damn, it's my
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah, basically. So I feel like him seeing Momonosuke here and like going crazy here would just be a dope showing for him. Like that would hit, like not even from a power scaling standpoint or anything, just from like a dope scene. Because he failed to save Yasui, and him succeeding in saving Momonosuke would be like a redemption for him
I can
to some
agree with
degree.
that. I just think it would hit a lot harder if we actually got more spotlight on Zoro and Momo's like mentorship relationship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Facts. Like at this point, bro, I just hope. Cause me, like, even though I don't take the anime as canon, I love One Piece as a series, right? So I enjoy like reading and watching it. So when the anime drops for that, I hope they expand on that and like fill in the blanks. Cause there's so much that could have been done there, bro. Like literally, just add like 3 or 4 more pages and just have some interactions between them. Could have
Zoro
like
just like having
solidified
the
the
mentor
dynamic.
position in general is just like always amazing.
Yeah, man. And it's like, yeah. It was dope though. Like I like this scene because of Queen. Queen is just mad entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. Nigga saying, "Are you sons of bitches ready?" I don't know, man. Out of all the Beast Pirates, like I enjoy reading Queen the most
Fucking hate
because he's
Queen,
just
but yeah, let's move on.
I don't know, man. He's entertaining as fuck for me, bro.
I can kind of understand that. But
Mhm.
Zoro's going up against fucking 500, are they gifters or headliners? I know some fucking
Nah, that
people were having that
yeah
argument in PDA.
yeah.
I feel
So
like it's a
the
mix
gifters,
probably.
they're gifters, and then there's obviously some waiters around, and then there's probably one or two headliners or a few headliners around.
Probably those
But
four
yeah,
people in front of Zoro are all headliners.
yeah, because they have like some distinguished designs and stuff. They don't look like throwaway designs.
Yeah.
Like they are throwaway designs, but they're not. They look like they just look stronger. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
You know
get
how
you.
old it is. Yeah. I like the fact that they mentioned that they all tried to become the Pirate King before in the past. And the reason why I like this is not just because of that whole theme of subjugation that has been a part of this arc, but the fact that they think they think Zoro's trying to become the Pirate King.
Oh,
That's what I like
true,
about,
true.
because they're looking at him and they're saying, "Why don't you just give up? We all tried to become Pirate King too." So you know what I'm saying? They're looking at him and they're thinking, "Yeah, this guy's trying to become the Pirate King."
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. The way I was thinking about it at first was them like the theme of everyone subjugating under Kaido, like they had that will. It was kind of
Mhm.
cool, but it was mentioned with the Flying Six already. So at first I was like, does it really need to be mentioned again? But at the same time, you can argue it's to show Kaido's crew is really legit. That people even under the Flying Six, like these people that are throwaway characters, even they wanted to become the Pirate King.
Yeah. So it's like Kaido. Kaido is basically the nigga in the new world that's like impossible to get past. He just he keeps you in check basically. If you're not special, even special guys, the worst generation getting thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool. I like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. And then Kid, he's huffing and puffing just like Zoro is. Of course,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't actually
Of
have
course.
the dialogue saying huff, but he has the bubble the same as Zoro. It's like
Yeah,
it's not like Zoro
has
had
the
two bubbles,
bubble.
but he had one or anything.
Yeah, no, they both had one bubble, and it's crazy because it's like obviously the fandom are doing damage control for Kid, but more time Kid is fighting with Killer. It's
Yeah.
2v everybody. Zoro out there alone. But they don't account for this in a One Piece fandom.
To be honest, I actually hate this scene and the Zoro one because one of my biggest critiques for Wano was that it felt like gathering up all these fodder, like it didn't matter because we know fodder don't matter in One Piece, but Oda tries to make you think they do with Kaido like building up the fodder army and then the Marines bothering to bring the fodder to Marineford. It's like a huge inconsistency because we all know at the end of the day, like all that matters is who between the top dogs is superior. And I
Yeah,
feel like Oda's trying to justify him like spending so much time gathering up the fodder because the setup for Wano would have been so quick if they didn't care about gathering the Fado Samurai. So I feel like
yeah,
this is his
yeah,
way of trying to justify it, and it just seems so lame to me. Like just having them like not really struggle, but like having a sort of tough time against them. And I feel like people
yeah,
would like would use this as evidence. Like, look, they're like fodder do matter, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like we all know
yeah,
fodder don't matter. Like this is a
yeah,
terrible way for Oda to make it seem like it was all worth it to build up the fodder.
yeah. I feel it. I get where you're coming from. But one thing I guess that is cool is that it kind of makes a distinction between Yonko crew fodder and just your casual fodder. Like obviously fodder is fodder, but I kind of feel like because they're a heavily durable endurance kind of crew with their smile devil fruits, that at least is making some logical sense that they're harder to get through than just your average fodder, if that
I
makes sense.
guess, but it's like Zoro can throw like one horizontal slash and it's cutting all
Yeah,
of them up in like one attack. Like instantly
yeah,
just destroys all
of course,
500 of them.
yeah. Do you know what I think this is? I think this is Oda, instead of just having Zoro show up at the right place at the right time, he wants us to get him there gradually. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
guess.
he's just trying to show us little updates because he's just kind of he struggles with pacing. Everyone knows Oda struggles with pacing. So it's like this is a good way for him to kind of maintain that and get him there in a logical way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess he just he didn't want Zoro to show up immediately, or if he didn't show the Zoro and Kid pages, he'd have to fill it up with something else. And he's like, I wanted to have this exact cliffhanger in the chapter. I didn't want to add too much to the chapter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, onto the meat of the chapter.
Yep.
Ulti in page 1. I mean, a lot of people have been saying they like their interactions, and I can understand that. It's kind of entertaining. I don't really care for it that much, but I can see where they're coming from. It is kind of funny how like they fucking destroyed those stairs when she used them as a sled, and then she tried to blame it on him for some reason. It's like what?
Yeah, nah, it's entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. I just it's refreshing. It's not like it's some crazy character writing or anything. It's just cool. I get a lot of Baby Five vibes from Urti.
I can see
Like
that.
a lot of Baby Five vibes from Urti. Just like a proper is tsundere the word? I don't know the fucking Japanese term for just a loud bitch. And she cool. I don't, the real meat of this chapter is obviously the fighting. That's what we're about to talk about. But before that, I kind of like the stare down. Even last chapter and even this chapter, the way they just stood there, stared at each other. Obviously, the dialogue was kind of cheap because it's the 750,000th time in the series that Luffy tells us what he's gonna become.
Yeah, the only thing of interest to me is that he was willing to tell that to someone like Ulti. It makes me think like Ulti might actually be semi-important.
Oh, interesting.
Just like the fact that he bothered to tell her that,
Yeah, the fact that Oda put it in. One thing I just liked about this in general is the fact that, the very next page she was like, yo, that's the only person that will become the Pirate King is Kaido. And I didn't get that kind of vibe from Uruti before this chapter. Like, she seems loyal, even though she's just, like, loud and annoying. She's basically a lot like Baby 5, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in the Flying Six introduction chapter, they were all like trying to suck up to Kaido, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
so this
yeah,
is about what I expected.
Honestly, nah, but that chapter when they were sucking up, it felt fake. That's why I didn't think this. You know what I'm saying? It felt like they were, like, them sucking up to Kaido. It felt like they were trying to put on this facade to some degree, if that makes sense.
I didn't see it like that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just the impression I personally had. I can see you not seeing it like that. Just because all the Flying Six, it felt like Sasaki and Who's Who in particular. Maybe not Uruti, but Sasaki and Who's Who in particular. It seemed like they're trying to move up their way to the crew, but we know that they're ex-pirate captains that were subjugated, so perhaps they have an ulterior motive. Who knows?
Yeah, it could go either way because, of course, since they're ex-pirate captains, like, they might have the pride to want to keep going, but at the same time, if Kaido proved to be such an indomitable force that they're like, it's literally pointless, like, it's never going to happen, then, of course, you could see them also being like, alright, I'm just content with staying with Kaido.
Yeah. Do you think, like, a lot of these flying... Do you think Uruti is a ex-pirate captain? Like, could be? Because Oda only specified for... Yeah, those two, right? Sasaki and Who's Who. But if all of them are, it would be dope to see if they were like the previous generation's supernova. Like before Cavendish.
Did he specify Drake? Because if he only specified those two and we know Drake's as well, then it could mean them being specified doesn't really matter. And they could all be like pirate captains. But if they did specify Drake, that might be different.
Nah, he didn't specify Drake. He only specified those two. But it was King who was talking to them, and they were the main two who cared about the entire Yamato plotline. They're the only people that really cared about getting him back. So it's still up in the air. They might not actually be ex-pirate captains. Who knows? They could be. I feel like that's just a cool thing that I want to find out about.
I feel you. And Ulti actually overpowered him with the headbutt. I mean, I want to say it's impressive, but at the same time, Luffy headbutted that fucking Mink and Zoe and they like kind of tied. So how impressive is it really?
Man, it's just Oda scaling, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just Oda, bro.
Hey, I mean, that Mink might be top tier. Didn't he fucking body that one Law Commander?
The thing with this entire thing is like, I can't read deeply into this, right? Because they're clashing. I do personally think base Luffy is around that level, like Flying Six, maybe a bit above there.
But could you see Cat like struggling to beat a Flying Six in 10 hours?
No.
Like, no, of course not. He fucking like zero diff Ichiji in like half a second.
I don't know, man. It's just inconsistency, bro. That's the way I choke it down to. It's just Luffy having the power of the plot. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. This was like a really weird scene to power scale. The impression I'm gonna go with right now is that Luffy in his base form without Gear 4th is around equal to Uruti and could probably win.
Are you like incorporating Rio and shit?
No.
Okay.
Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd. Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, and the almond haki he had, prior to Wano.
I wouldn't say he's like... I would put him a level above personally, but I think she could compete.
I actually would put him a level above too. I'd say like he would, rather than extreme diffing, he would high diff her. Like he would lose to Jack, I'd say, like extreme diff in base. Like how big do you think the gap between Uruti and because I feel like the Flying Six are not that far from the Calamities. I don't think it's like a crazy. Well, not the Calamities as a. I don't think the Calamities are like close like a lot of people do, but from Jack, I don't think it's that huge.
It's hard to say because I could definitely buy Who's Who and Sasaki being close to Jack, and of course Drake, who I think is stronger than Jack. But
Yeah, I
first of
think
all,
so.
we already know Page One is an exception and he's weak as fuck.
Oh yeah,
But
he's garbage as fuck. Yeah.
Ulti and like Black Maria, there's still question marks. Like I'm not ready to put them on Usu and Sasaki's level, especially since when Sasaki got chained up, it's at like one of the troublesome flying six. So to me, that like tells the story of okay, these three. Like of course Drake's part of that. Like there's like a separation within the flying six. Like these certain three, they're like the troublesome ones.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I never picked up on that troublesome. Good looking. Yeah. Okay. That actually that's interesting. That's interesting. Um, I don't know. Yeah, Uruchi. It's just. Do you think we're gonna see more of her in this arc? Like after this?
For
Like
sure. Like it just
in like
depends
a
how
relevant
much.
position though. In a relevant position, because I don't know, man. I feel like they're just getting thrown around. Like same way we're probably gonna see Sasaki again, but I don't think he's gonna be as relevant as Oda has given them the hype. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I could
Like
see Sasaki like fighting Shutenmaru or something, and that's like his relevance.
okay,
But
that would be cool.
for ulti, like I'm not really sure because I don't really see like Nami or Robin fighting her, and I feel like it's probably gonna be a girl that fights her. So will she be relevant? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Who knows? If the alliance does fall through, she might fight Smoothie.
Hey, maybe
Obviously,
that
there should be a massive gap in power, but you know, Oda doesn't give a fuck.
either hyping up ulti or like further like downplaying Smoothie. Which,
Yeah,
however you want to say it.
or Smoothie like low diffs and takes a W for the first time in fucking ever.
Impossible.
Impossible. Did I just say Smoothie and W in the same sentence? Yeah, let's move on.
Possible. But yeah, let's move on with the chapter talk. So we learned that she has observation hockey, which should to be expected.
Yeah.
And then this is like a pretty cool choreographed panel where Luffy like fucking does a front flip over her, grabs her horns, and like slams her onto the floor. That was pretty sick.
That was he pounced hella quick. Like it was in terms of choreography, this fight was impressive.
I
For
mean,
Oda
I think that
standards.
moment was impressive. Everything else is kind of whatever. But I like that panel.
I feel it. I like that panel myself, yeah. Like he says, I think I underestimated you. I've got to get it together. I'm in the Emperor's castle. I like that. He's trying he's trying to take shit a bit seriously. Hopefully this isn't just cheap dialogue like most of fucking
Yeah,
Luffy's
that's the
dialogue in
first thing that
Wano.
came to my mind. Like, does he really mean this? Does he really?
Yeah.
Because there's so many
Yeah.
moments like this where you would think he would actually go from it, but he doesn't.
Like
So
didn't
it's
he
hard to
act
say.
serious a few chapters ago, then went back to fucking around?
Pretty much.
I don't
Red bean
I don't know
porridge.
exactly.
Luffy mad, and then like
Yeah.
fucking like 3 panels later in the next chapter, he's like all good.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good example of it. The red bean soup. uh yeah. I liked it though. I did really enjoy this fight personally. Like the entire thing, from a choreography and just entertainment and hype standpoint. Because I don't think Oda snaps like this for little irrelevant fights, irrelevant encounters. He did pretty well for this one, if I say so myself.
Yeah, for Oda standards, yeah. I like how Luffy
Yeah.
one shot page one. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I love that.
Gotta love
that.
the agendas. Gotta love them.
I've seen the insane amount of damage control like all over Discord and shit. Like niggas saying, "Oh, he hit him in the neck. That's why Sanji kicked him in the chest." Shut up, man. He was bleeding. Sanji ain't making bleed. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Plus, I think like he hit him in the jaw. Like
Yeah,
around
hit him in the
there.
jaw. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him in the jaw. That's why the people are saying he's bleeding because of that. Like Sanji might have hurt him more. And like I understand the argument, but that's not you can't like make that. You can't make
I
that
don't want to
argument.
like get into scaling, but Sanji's attack power is not comparable to Gear Third in the slightest. Like not even close.
God damn, yeah, you said it for me, bro.
Yeah.
You think Page One's out? Like, did you think he was knocked out by this attack, or do you think he was just like sent flying, basically?
I think he was because Luffy like hit him and he would like go flying and like land in the same spot pretty much. So the fact that he wasn't shown at all, like even in the background, I feel like is
We got a
indication
panel
that
of him and knocked out on the floor.
we did.
Yeah, so if you go to the page after the boy pulls up and does the attack, you see a panel of Urti collapsing and a panel of Luffy staring in shock, and then next to it you just see Page One knocked out on the ground. And you can just see like dot 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 exclamation mark and shit. Like I'm guessing he's knocked out, but
Yeah, I
I,
assume
I
he's gonna be like knocked down, get up in like a couple minutes or something.
couple
Because
exactly
ancient
same
zone
as
type
Urti, I
shit.
think. Same as Urti, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Do
why I
you
think they had to run quickly. But yeah, let's talk about that.
like real quick? Do you think all the flying six are gonna be like dinosaurs? Because I would not like that.
I think that would be trash. I want Hurzu to be a saber tooth. Like I really want him to be a saber
That'd
tooth.
be sick.
Yeah, that would be like fire. I need it. That would hit different. But yeah, like the fact that she was kind of mad because people were making theory videos. Like I watched, I think it was Mr. Morge's video, and he came up with a really fitting one. I think it was a raptor. Like he came up with a fitting dinosaur. Was this
Yeah.
a wait? Which one? What was hers called?
I can't repeat it to you. I'll
It's
probably
yeah,
struggle
it's
to read it even if I go to the page.
yeah, it's
I
a
know
wild ass
Brago was
name.
struggling like a motherfucker trying to read that shit.
Pachysphilosaurus, Pachis. I don't know, man. Some fucking wild name, bro. But yeah, Urti. Like just off the top of your head right now, like without having to think crazy. Is she making your top 20 list next week?
No,
Okay.
not
Okay,
at
good.
all. She might be
Okay.
over Sanji, but she would not make top 20.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
She
there's a
might
lot
be
of
over.
strong dudes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the barometer. If he's trash or not, is he stronger than Sanji?
Sanji's basically number like 30 or something.
Pretty much.
Basically. Yeah.
But yeah,
I like
Yamato.
that GIF. Just go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Now, what are you gonna say?
I like to just Luffy just hit him with the GIF quickly though. Like he got snuck on. Page one tried to pull up, and then he just straight up hit him.
Yeah, and
Didn't
then
he
got
smack? Didn't he smack Urti on his head and then hit him? Like it,
uh,
it was weird. Like
he like
he
slammed her to the
smashed
floor,
Urti.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, it was
then
just
he hit
like
him.
yeah.
And then this is something that people talk about that he needs Gear 4 to beat Ulti, and I don't agree with this at all. I
I
just
don't
feel
agree.
like he needs Gear 4 to break out of the hold. That's
Of
how
the
I saw
hold.
it. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Because that's what he did
I was
against Cracker. When Cracker was like pressing him down, he like used Gear 4 to like break out of it.
like the Dofi strings as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
And
Do you
then,
think Luffy is at the point where he can like go in and out of Gear 4 not as efficiently as fucking Gear Second, but like halfway, like close to that degree? Like
I
he
mean,
can
he
he can hop
should
in
if
and
he's
out
going
of
to
it.
use it against fodder ships. That's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. He should if he's gonna use it against other ships. Exactly, unless he fucking needed it for them ships, but you know.
Hey, man, he needed it, and then Denjiro, like, one-shot a ship, well, all three of them, like, you love to see it.
Yeah, bro. You know this arc, Oda really be wanking the swordsman, dog. The swordsman be getting mad respect in this arc so far.
Yeah, Kaido got, like, that godly fucking exposition on his durability, and Odin just, like, one-tapped him without a problem. Like, the swordsman kind of a problem.
Yeah, they're definitely a problem, bro, and Oda knows.
But yeah, Yamato pulls up. I see this attack is pretty impressive. I would say it's like easily comparable to Gear 3 because I rate ulti above page 1. So just the fact that Luffy thought he needed Gear 3 to one-shot page 1. I feel like this is probably better than Gear 3 because this is ulti. But
Yeah,
like we can't really say. Like it could be even comparable to Gear 4th to an extent.
it could be, and Uruti's durability could be way better than page one's for all we know. We can't really gauge that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to come to a clear and concise conclusion. But
Yeah.
with Yamato in general, just the way he pulled up, it was fucking badass. I liked it a lot. He just
Yeah, I'm
pulled
glad
up,
he's not like some little fucking kid.
bro. I was like 99% sure he was. So thank you, Oda, for proving me wrong.
See,
Because
my
I was like,
initial
sure he
impression was I think he could be a fucking swordsman that's even stronger than King, and that could be like someone Zoro fights. But then he pulled out with the club, and then when Sasuke called him a brat, at that point I was like, all right, he's probably a kid. But then the official translation come out, and he just said Kaido's kid. So I was like, all right, there's still hope for
okay.
him to be like kind of a menace, and he
Mhm.
seems pretty fucking strong. So see what's up with
Mhm.
him.
Like I fuck with it. Like the design is dope. The Odin resemblances. I guess that's a whole discussion of its own. But yeah, overall, I do still have the hope that he is kind of young. I feel like he still could be kind of young. I feel
Fairly
like
young, in his
Kaido,
teens, like maybe like 18.
yeah, around there. Cause I don't know why, but just like thinking back to the Odin flashback, I understand people who look at the scene of Kaido holding Momonosuke and they think he pitied him because he has a son of his own. But I also kind of get the vibe that he had a son because of Odin and because of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
I
could
don't
go
know.
either way. It's
It
kind of
could go
weird
either way.
because he's seen how great Odin is, and he's like his son is a disappointment. So then maybe like this is funny. Like maybe he's so like mad at Odin and he has like such an inferiority complex. He's like, "There's one way I can be better than you. My son cannot be a failure. Take that." Like you know.
That would actually make a lot of fucking sense. And that could be why he's like so fucking powerful for a young kid. That would hit.
That would be
I don't
some
know.
like insanely petty shit.
It would be insanely petty, but I don't know. It would make me fuck. It would give Kaido some character.
Yeah,
I don't
at
know
this
if I would
point,
like
people
it
just
though.
want anything.
At this point, yeah, I do want anything. I mean, I like the way he was talking to the Flying Six. Like that didn't give me petty vibes, but it's still definitely within the ballpark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For
I
him
like
to be petty as fuck.
his personality in general when he's talking with his crew. At least the
Kaido,
strong
yeah,
ones.
yeah, I do. I like it a lot. And the thing with Yamato here, did someone make the interesting observation that Yamato actually resembles Odin a lot, and then Momonosuke, being a dragon, kind of resembles Kaido. So do you think that's a way that Oda is trying to tie Kaido and Odin through their children, making them
I do
opposites of
like
them?
honestly when I first like when Yamato was first mentioned, one of like my first theories was maybe Kaido doesn't like Yamato because Yamato actually embodies like a Wano samurai. Like it doesn't have to be Odin, but Odin's like the prime example that could like lead him towards that path. And I feel like they just have a bad relationship because Yamato doesn't agree with Kaido like wanting to rule the world, and he's like more righteous than Kaido is, and they just like butt heads all the time because of it. And Kaido wants him to like join his crew and like help him with his conquest, and he's kind of like, "Fuck you, I'm not gonna do that shit."
That would be dope. I don't know if Oda's going there, but that would be dope.
Yeah.
uh, something with it as well. It could be some shit where like Yamato, yeah, looks up to Odin and shit, and that's what you mean to embody. Because it's like he's using Kaido's attacks basically, and he looks like Odin. It's just wild. It's a mad mix. Imagine he pulls out a sword and he's using a club in one hand and he's got a sword in the other one. I would stand.
That'd be pretty
Team
dope.
Yamato.
But to go further into that discussion about him like embodying a Wado samurai, I feel like it would be interesting because I already got the impression just from that chapter, and then I think this chapter kind of reaffirms it with him having the same like club and then the Thunder Bagawa. I feel like if that's the case, he like might hate Kaido in a way, but at the same time he has this feelings of like it's still my father. So like I kind of look up to him in a way, and I feel like that would be a really like unique dynamic to delve into.
Yeah. I this Yamato plotline, this entire plot thread is actually put a lot of like it's instilled some hope for this arc for me because what it does is it throws a wrench into everything. It changes everything.
It
Because
does.
Yamato's presence here, it's like it's massive. He's the son of the main antagonist of the arc, or at least co-antagonist on the same level of Big Mom. Well, I main antagonist. Kaido's the main antagonist, and he is now seemingly an ally of Luffy. Like what this does for the arc, what this can do for the arc is massive. There's so many avenues we can go down, and like there's a massive possibility that we might not be getting action for the next few chapters. Like we might get a black story. We honestly could get a backstory in the next few chapters. I know everyone got happy we finally got to the war, but I mean Oda is the kind of nigga to do that. To just put us in a backstory right now.
Maybe it
Like maybe
depends. It
two or
would just
three
kind of feel
chapters.
weird if we get the Momo scene and it's like 3 to 4 chapters later, we're still like talking about the execution. We're about to start the execution now. Like you know what I mean? Like I felt like that's kind of like a next chapter type thing.
Oh, the execution? No. I feel like when I say now, I just mean whenever Luffy and Yamato talk. By
Oh,
the
okay,
way,
okay.
if you notice, right? So Sanji, I don't know if you noticed, Big Mom at the start of the chapter said that just in front of them is the stand. Wait, well, let me go see what she exactly said. Right? She said, yeah, they're headed for the stage. So that's where Momonosuke is being executed. Then you have Kid and Zoro who are in the castle, which means they're close to the stage. Then you have Frankie and Brooke who are coming towards Sasaki from another direction, from the right flank. Then you have like Denjiro up to his shit. Law coming from the rear. You have everybody coming at all these different directions. Do you think Momonosuke's execution or crucifixion will be the center point, and everybody is gonna come together at this point? and we're gonna have like a massive conflict in the center at Momo's execution. Because I feel like that's something Oda might do, and that's why he's giving everyone all these plot lines and why he tried to get Sanji out of there. Because I don't think he wants Nami there because of the action. So he tried to get Sanji out of there because Sanji might be involved in the action, and he's trying to put them all together right there in the middle for the crucifixion, and then that's where just all hell breaks loose, basically. And then from there, they start to move out and kind of scatter around the whole of Onigashima. I
It's
feel like that
interesting because a lot of people maintain the opinion that Kaido's not going to do anything until like a fair amount later, like 10 to 15 chapters, because it's Kaido and they need this convenience. And I feel like that's a fair point, but at the same time, I do agree that from what you said, there seems to be build up for that to be a definite possibility. I think it would be cool. It would be like one of those Oda moments, like, oh shit, something just like escalated to 1,000, like out of nowhere, like what's gonna happen now? Like Oda likes to do that a lot, so I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure where it would go from there, but
it would be wild if that's the reason why he's trying to get Perospero here. I don't even want to say it, but imagine Perospero arrives as well at the crucifixion and attacks King or some shit. And then Big Mom kind of defends Perospero to some degree, and then that causes a beef between her and Kaido. I don't know, man. So bad. And it's so Oda though, you know what I'm saying? Like have them fight right in the centerpiece of Onigashima, whilst all the other fights are happening all around them, and they're like the center of the nucleus. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some shit Oda would do, but I don't know.
I thought like
predictions though.
I always assumed there'd be like some sort of betrayal, but I thought it'd be more gradual and more built up than just Perospero gets like one line of dialogue and then he shows up and he just like it immediately happens and then it's just like such a cheap way to like start the betrayal. Mm-hmm. By the way, if Perospero's already near Onigashima, Marco better be like fucking within 5 feet of Luffy or something.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
But yeah.
This is the thing as well with Momonosuke. Do you think he's gonna get like a speech or something, or a moment to shine for his character?
I could see it. I don't really know what he's gonna say though. Maybe he's gonna say like you're all cowards or something. I don't know. Can't really think of like an impactful thing he would say, especially like given the context of Momo's character.
I see it. I feel you.
Yeah, I could see the moment happening. I just feel like the grand moment should be Zoro, swooping in with the King's Haki. You know what I'm saying?
I need it, bro. I actually need it. You don't know how much I fucking need it. And like, I was talking about this with the boys earlier on, and like, I was suggesting that we get Zoro and Kid using it together, bro. Like flexing on each other to some degree. Do you think that would hit, or do you think for Zoro's first moment in the series, it should be a solo moment?
I could see both because I think it'll be more impactful if it's just Zoro, considering his connections with Momo. But at the same time, seeing Zoro and Kid use it and like them trying to like outdo each other, like I got the better King's Haki, I got the better King's Haki.
Hey, bro, them just going, on some fucking Goku Vegeta shit, just like fucking powering up. I need it. But as well,
I think overall, like it's better for him to have it solo because there should be plenty of moments for Zoro and like Kid to compete later on, so you don't need to insert it right now. Yeah,
exactly. It's crazy how the fandom be pushing this Zoro and Killer competition agenda, but it's Zoro and Kid that are competing. Like, I just know Oda's gonna do that. He's gonna make all three of them compete: Luffy, Zoro, Kid, and he might even add Killer to the mix as well. I don't think Killer is gonna get neglected like that. Honestly, Killer's gonna get some respect.
I think he'll get some respect, but I've seen your Zoro versus Killer video, and I heavily disagree in it being like you can't draw any conclusions from this. Like, I feel like it's clear that Zoro one-shots Killer.
The reason why I don't think you can draw many conclusions from that fight, though, is for the sole reason that Oda can make Killer way stronger next time we see him. As much as as much as we can argue against it right now, as much as I can make the best argument out that he wasn't nerfed by the smile and that having weapons, not having his normal weapons, isn't a nerf or anything. Like, you could make the argument. I'm sure you know the arguments. It's very simple to fight against it, but Oda can just do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And make Killer much stronger and make him seem like an equal to Kid. Because I do think he cares about some sort of structure. And the vice captain thing is a formula that Oda has stuck to for the majority of the series. Jinbei, Fisher Tiger, Rayleigh, Roger, Killer, Kid, Luffy, Zoro. I don't see him going against it for Killer and Kid.
I mean, that's why that sounds all fine and dandy, but I'm just looking at Killer, he can't even pull the scythe out of Zoro's body because Zoro's flexing. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
that
God
was
damn, this guy's fodder.
yeah.
Relax.
I was popping, Draco.
What's up,
What
Jacob?
up? What up? How long we have streamed? I know when you start.
About like 45 minutes.
Yeah, we
Alright.
nearly finished. Honestly, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're just finishing up. Do you have any thoughts on the chapter, Draco?
I liked it. Like I enjoyed reading it. I like a barometer for a good chapter most times for me is if I'm
It's like
I
5 out of 10.
I don't I don't notice the time moving while I'm reading it. Like last chapter, like I kept flipping the pages hoping it ends. Well, this chapter just ended because shit was hyped throughout. The only
Yeah,
part I didn't really like was
it's the
obviously
beginning.
you guys know Sanji
Yeah, yeah.
shit, and then
Perispero.
Sparrow finally deciding to use his devil fruit, I guess, and just
That was trash
I
though,
have this
man.
power. I forgot.
that's what I thought he was gonna do since the beginning, like use the devil fruit up the waterfall. And he decides to use it now. But at the same time, I like how better late than never. You know, he's actually like realizing how this
I,
alliance is not that good and shit like that. And like he's all he's like thinking about is obviously the Big Mom Pirates and bringing them out on top. I think he's like a cunning dude.
I
And
don't
think
even know if you can say better late than never, because if you're gonna make him like legitimately retarded, at least keep him retarded so it's somewhat consistent instead of just like randomly making him use his head.
the
I don't
thing
know.
is though, right? He wasn't even that that retarded early. Like it's crazy how them not being in the alliance, which is like them are in danger in a foreign territory, doesn't like force him to move. But now that he knows that they're in an alliance, which makes him assume they're safer now than they were before, that's when he starts moving. That's backwards to me.
Yeah, his thought process just makes no sense.
The
But
thing
for
is, like, I
me,
give him the benefit of. Go ahead, sorry.
for me, the only parts of the chapter I enjoyed were the Yamato reveal, because there's like interesting implications of what it can mean for Kaido's character and what it could mean for just the overall like power structure of the arc, like him being on the Stride side and everything. And the Luffy versus Ulti in page 1 fight, which I thought was decent. But
That was
other
like half
than
the
that,
chapter, most of it. Yeah.
other than
Even
that,
though
like I didn't really care for the execution moment. Orochi's speech, as always, is dog shit. Zoro and Kid fighting fodder is whatever, and I already explained to Fiji why I don't like the implications of that. And then just the whole like Big Mom chasing them convenience, and then Pero Sparrow, like it all just is like nonsensical writing for me.
I don't know. I do agree with all of that. I just like nothing like crazy popped out to me besides this Sanji shit. I don't know why did you dislike. If you want to repeat yourself, that's fine. The whole Killer and Zoro shit. I guess it just shows us where they were. Like it just gives us the information on what they're doing while Luffy and them are doing something else.
It goes back to me saying like Oda wasted a bunch of time gathering fodder, and this is like his chance of being like, hey, look guys, fodder matter, when it's like such a cheap like and terrible way of doing it.
Yeah, is he really saying fodder matter though? Like it doesn't seem like Kid and Zoro are having that much trouble besides like the numbers, which is like I kind of like. I guess it makes sense with Kaido's crew. Like they're not all strong, but like these numbers can like at a point outweigh. Like,
And they're smile users, so they have that durability and endurance shit.
yeah,
But
you
at
could
the same time, this is the thing though, Jonkins. Like I actually agree with you, but at the same time I do disagree because I don't think they are. I don't think Oda is intending to make them look like a problem. I feel like the fan base has interpreted that because everybody is in fucking slander mode and they look at someone breathing heavily and they just immediately try to slander and say, "Oh, this person's struggling." But I feel like they're having they're like literally coasting through. It's just the fandom is in slander mode for fucking
See,
Wano.
I agree with the notion that breathing heavily doesn't really matter. Like people will run for 5 seconds and breathe heavily. Hell, it happened like last
Exactly.
chapter with
That
Ulti in
yeah.
page 1, and even Yamato. I think he was breathing heavily after like one attack and running for 5 seconds. But the way I see it is the fact that they're not like instantly like one-shotting the whole group. Like I said, Zoro can just send like one horizontal slash and they're all cut in half. And Kid could just like make one giant arm and like one shot all of them at the same time. Like the fact that it's taking time to take these guys out is already like something that just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah,
Why
I
though?
feel
Like,
it. It's
wouldn't
just
you?
Oda though. It's just Oda's way of trying to keep them occupied. That's it. So he
That's
makes
true, and I don't even like. I'd rather be that than what's his name. Them have be like completely useless. Like at a point, obviously Zoro's a lot stronger than all of them, but the fact that like Kaido wants to have so much of these people, he kind of sees value in having numbers, and for them to just be instantly one shot, like what's the point of Kaido even having them at that point? So
Yeah,
like,
it makes no sense to
even though
begin with, and I don't think like having some arbitrary importance to them is the way to solve the issue.
not even-
But I don't think there's like any like way to solve the issue really.
yeah, this is not solving the issue at all, but like for them to even at least be a bit competent, not even competent, just like their numbers advantage, being showcased for a bit. I don't see a problem with that. I think that's better than just not even showing anything. Like they have like a million smile users, and none of them were important, and even like the smallest sense. Obviously both are bad. I'm looking at it the other way.
I'm just looking at it like, is it more important than actually showing the protagonist being like fucking competent? Because like even in Marineford, like all these fodder and like Aokiji can instantly freeze all of them, and then Kizaru like instantly blows all of them up, and they're just all gone on Whitebeard's side. So it's like, should Whitebeard have even brought all those fodder? Should the Marines have even brought their fodder? Like making like the top tiers like not do anything to be like, hey, look, fodder do matter. Like it's just such a cheap way for me.
Yeah, but what's his name? Do you think that what were you saying earlier? Like you think Zoro is incompetent for not taking him out instantly?
I mean, if you really wanted to like just argue, you can be like, well, we technically don't know how strong they are, so it's headcanon to say Zoro can instantly take him out. But yeah, I do think this is like showing him to be incompetent in a sense.
And it's not even just him; it was Killer, and him.
Yeah, Kid and Killer too.
Yeah, that's wild. But like, I don't know, like, remember like the whole like you were saying using one slash. That's like I get that's what you should have done, but like, that was like a whole theme. Like, remember when Luffy was just punching people and shit instead of like just knocking them out instantly with Congress hockey? I guess you're right. Oda needs to stop doing that just for fodder.
Yeah, even during the Apu chapter, Zoro's like, if this keeps up, like we won't even get to Kaido, assuming like the road to Kaido is like very difficult.
Damn, that's portrayal. Maybe they're not fodder.
And Oda just sucks. But yeah, overall thoughts on the chapter. There's like I told to Fiji, like there's a bunch of like atrocious writing elements that I don't even know if I can get that mad over, because I just like don't care. I'm like kind of viewing like One Piece like Dragon Ball Z at this point, and it like raises my overall rating of the chapter because I don't care about them, and then there's moments I enjoy. So overall, like it's not like I hated the chapter. I actually quite enjoyed it, so I'd probably give it like a 6. But if I wanted to be like more critical, if this was Kingdom, like any single like little like bad convenience would like trigger me.
We're talking about it for hours, dude. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, literally.
The thing though, like I mentioned the ulti part, like I actually thought Oda did a good job, even though you might think it's arbitrary and shit like that, like where in the past he would bring someone new and have them get one shot, and we don't really know how strong they are. But in this arc, at least with Kaido's crew, he's like trying to like set the tone. People say power scaling doesn't exist, but he's like trying to set the tone of like the structure of the crew and how strong they are, and so you can like use them to scale other people. And the whole ulti and Luffy exchange was used to like scale Yamato after, because he came in a one shotter. Even though I don't think he one shots her straight up if she's on guard. And I also do like how he he's doing that the entire time. Besides like the setback we had with Sasuke last week, like we're making the Topi Ropos like not just like people not to be like people not to be worried about. He's making them actually kind of like at least a minute, like a bit of a threat, And ulti showed out in my opinion. She had like Luffy went gear fourth and everything. She actually hurt him with the headbutt. Like he couldn't get out of it without like transforming. Like all that shit was dope to see. And then you see that after Yamato one shots her, so Yamato is the problem. Yeah,
I can definitely appreciate the antagonist at least getting some hype. It does speak on how like starved for hype we are, that like any little thing we're like, yo, Oda did something. But yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, I was about to mention that too. You know what makes this chapter so good? Not even so good, like it raises the rating. How bad last chapter was. Like
yeah.
So bad that thing so just literally makes me think I read gold. Like I said, like when you break it down, it wasn't even that good.
But yeah, overall thoughts, Fiji?
So if I were to rate this for One Piece standards, well, for Wano standards, let's say, so I wouldn't give this to a Kingdom chapter. Feels like
Wano standards, then One Piece One Piece standards, and then normal manga standards. The 3 ratings.
Yeah, the 3. So yeah, now for Wano standards, this is a good 7 to 8 out of 10 chapter for me. The only like actual discrepancies I have with the chapter is the first few pages, the Sanji stuff, and then the obviously the Pero stuff. But literally the rest of the chapter was flames for me. I thoroughly enjoyed the rest of the chapter, just from a meathead perspective, from a I enjoyed the action choreography perspective, and just the Yamato's got me fucking hyped. Because it's finally something in Wano that I have some faith in. It's a plot thread that I feel like it can unfold in a very satisfying way. It can fail too. It can be fucking garbage. Like how we waited months and months and maybe even years for this Oden nigga to like be the greatest character in One Piece history. And but I have faith. I have faith in Yamato. I have faith.
Fair enough. And a big part of this chapter is like just building up expectations for what's going to happen next with like Yamato and Momo. So, what do you think about this take that I've said last discussion? That for Kingdom, for example, like there's a much smaller like array of ways that things can go down. Like there's a battlefield, and you know who's facing who. So for things to be unpredictable there with like less options, it's much more satisfying to me to like see something unpredictable happen, or like to just try to guess what's gonna happen next. While for One Piece, like Oda just throws around these characters wherever he wants. Like anyone can pop up at any moment, anyone can fight anyone. So a lot of the time, like what would be hype cliffhangers, I'm like I kind of don't even care that much to talk about because literally anything could happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, it's weird though with One Piece, man. It's weird, bro, because Oda could just completely change the tone of the series in the next couple of chapters if he so wishes.
Yeah.
Like he could like now we haven't seen Jinbei and Robin for a few chapters. We might not see Yamato in like 5 chapters. If he wants to. I don't think he's spending that much time away from Luffy, but it's just unpredictable at this point. We might go see Jinbei and Robin for a bit. Frankie and Brook. Get like stuff we haven't seen. Denjiro, Law. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many moving pieces in this arc right now that like you said, it's unpredictable, but it's the tone of this arc is gonna be like jumping all over the place.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
So
Like,
you would like that? You would like that rather than it just being consistently like intense?
Well, I don't think it's intense. That's the thing. So I'm hoping it jumps to it being intense.
Okay, yeah. No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. But like, okay, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, I feel it. I
you know
feel
what's
it.
crazy? Like you guys are talking about the 3 ratings, like One Piece standards. Like as a cat, like the casual rating for me would be like that too. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it as like Feast as a meathead, and I just like power scaling that can come from this, the cancer that can come from it. So
Yeah,
like,
bro.
a 7 out of 10. But like in normal standards, like if I was actually like caring about One Piece and how the story was going, I can't even like some of it I just blocked out of my mind. I didn't even remember the fucking Orochi speech. That shit was so ass. I'm like,
Anytime Orochi talks is just complete garbage.
yeah.
Bro,
I'll give it like
you know
a
why
4
I'm
or
so
5,
happy?
4 out of 10 or something like that.
I'm happy as fuck because I got like 5 videos planned for the break week. That's why I'm happy, bro. There's so much to fucking talk about. I could talk about what I think is happening to Momo. I could talk about like Zoro stuff. I could talk about fucking Yamato. Like 2 videos on that nigga, bro. That's why I'm happy, bro. This chapter gave me a lot of shit to unpack. It didn't feel as short as it was.
The only thing like I like about the Sanji shit, I'm like, at least Oda's consistent in slandering him and Big Mom. Like every chapter,
You love
like,
to see it.
like,
Yeah, bro.
Like,
Entertainment.
Usopp is like Sanji's with them. They're fine. Like what? Sanji's trash. What are you talking about? So, like,
Bro, it feels so good to be a fan of the winning team in this arc, bro. Just like it just feels good to be a fan of the people who are taking dubs.
yeah.
For real.
And they
Like,
haven't even
imagine
started
being a
taking
Sanji
dubs yet,
fan.
bro.
Like I saw
Yeah,
Braga's
you-
reaction and he saw what Usopp said about Sanji. He's like W, and then like he read the Sanji moment where he's like thinking about prostitutes instead of the crew, and he's like, Sanji still took a W. I don't care.
Why would you ever think of a W? The first thing that came in my head was Big Mom sucks. Like, because I know how bad Sanji is and his whole distraction of prostitutes. I'm like, there's no chance he's gonna do anything unless Big Mom is completely nerfed or maybe her proper.
He's gonna
level.
carry them and run away, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
If Zoro was there, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what Usopp would be saying?
Like that fat bitch going down, boy.
If Frankie was there, you know what
Usopp
Usopp would be saying? Frankie would, if Frankie would take on Big Mom, bro.
Frankie
he would
is
dash
more
that bitch.
competent than Sanji with that shit.
Oh,
though. That was
100%.
sick.
I'm not even joking. Deadass. Nah, but I honestly, I feel like she turned the ship into the tank into a homie. I feel like she did.
How would you
Yeah.
feel like that? Why?
Cause when she hits it basically, if you look at a panel, it says Usopp is like, oh, she hit the tank and then it activated a transformation.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be like something that Frankie put in? Like if the tank is.
That's what I argue, but it would be weird for like the transformation to activate because she hit it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But the way I would think about it is like if it was such a devastating transformation, or like not devastating, but like a certain threshold of strength that like the robot like transformed into like a more defensive mode, take more shit.
I get that, and I kind of
Could see
agree
that.
with you, but it's also it's just weird. I feel like it can go both ways. It can go both ways. But if he wants to paint Big Mom in some level of competency, I don't even think we can call this competency. But if he just wants to make her look even a tiny bit good, then he would have made her turn it into a homie, and that would explain why she's had a big shift in personality. Because she's like, no need to worry. They're headed for the stage anyway. I just turned that fucker into a homie. We Gucci. Like I can keep the tabs on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't even think that it should have been like a big rush in the first place because she's a Yonko and their father, but at least he's like going back to her and maybe the good part of her mood swing where she's actually like not trolling and shit. Hopefully it continues for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it was like a good read. Like I agree with everything you guys said. It was just like enjoyable, but
Yeah, it's the type of chapter that if I read it, I would want to hear discussion on it.
Yeah, nah, it's gonna be fun. It's boy, like we doing that. Oh, by the way, Draco, I probably want you to put up, to be honest. We doing that top 20 stream next Friday if you guys are there. And this chapter is gonna affect a lot of it. The amount of niggas.
Is it a power scaling stream or just characters and shit?
Top 20 strongest characters in Wano right now.
I'm for it, bro. It's gonna be cancer. Just like it won't even just be about Wano, it's be about everything. Like
it's about everything. So like niggas is gonna like the amount of debates that's gonna happen in that is gonna be wild. But yeah.
For sure. Yeah, good discussion. I'll end it here. Peace.
Yep.
Yeah.